starting
the church.
started.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraye Yasya Praishu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Devadinastiki. So we're carrying on Canto 7, the Science of God, Chapter 12, the Perfect Society, 4 spiritual classes. This chapter, Narad Muni is going to talk about how the different ashrams, how they should perform their duties. So we'll have a look at, mostly it's quite straightforward, but we'll look at the text 1. Shri Narada Vacha Brahmachari Gurukule Vasantanto Guruhitam Acharan Dasavan Nicho Gurau Sudrida Soridaha. Translation: Narada Muni said, a student should practice completely controlling his senses. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship for the spiritual master. With a great vow, the brahmachari should live at the Gurukula only for the benefit of the Guru. This is the standard in the original Vedic culture, but I think they tried it in ISKCON also. They had a lot of problems in the beginning years, and nowadays more or less, I think in India they still continue with Gurukula, but it's more like day school also, and the parents are there mostly, because of a lot of problems, abuse and so on had happened over the years. But you can see what the standard was supposed to be. They were protected by the Guru. The Gurus were all very qualified personalities. And they were trained that way. Text 2. Sayam Prata Upasita Guru Agni Arka Surottaman Sandhye Ubecha Yatavag Japan Brahma Samahitaha. At both junctions of day and night, namely in the early morning and in the evening, he should be fully absorbed in thoughts of the spiritual master, fire, the sun god, and Lord Vishnu, and by chanting the Gayatri mantra, he should worship them. So more or less we do that also in ISKCON, those who are second initiated. You will be doing at the junction just before day, the sun rises, and then noon time, and then just before the sun sets, we chant our Gayatri. And we don't just chant, we meditate on the spiritual master and Krishna, Mahaprabhu, like that. Text 3. Chandam si adita guru Ahutasche suyantritaha Upakrame vasani cha Charanau shirasa namet. Being called by the spiritual master, the student should study the Vedic mantras regularly. Every day before beginning his studies and at the end of his studies, the disciple should respectfully offer obeisances unto the spiritual master. So we do that, all of us, before we do any devotional activities. We ask our spiritual master's permission, Srila Prabhupada's permission, before we undertake the duty. Text 4. Mekalajina vasamsi
Mekalajina vasansi
Jatadanda kamandalun
Kamandalam
Bibriyat upavitam cha
Vibriya Upavetam Cha
Darbapani yatoditam.
Dharmapani Yatoditam.
Carrying pure kusha grass in his hand, the brahmachari should dress regularly with a belt of straw and with deer skin garments. He should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with a sacred thread as recommended in the Shastras. So this is the dress code for those days. But nowadays it's all different. So we wear kurta and dhoti, it's different. Text 5. Sayam pratas charit bhakshyam
Sayam Pratascharin Bhakhyam
Gurave tannivedayet
Ravetam Nivedaya
Bunjita yadi anugnato
Kunjita Yadin Yato
Noche upavasit kvachi.
Roche Upavasit Kuchit.
The brahmachari should go out morning and evening to collect alms, and he should offer all that he collects to the spiritual master. He should eat only if ordered to take food by the spiritual master. Otherwise, if the spiritual master does not give this order, he may sometimes have to fast. Nowadays, the spiritual master doesn't give such order. But still, if you are around the spiritual master, you should try to honor this injunction. You wait until he tells you to take. And they should go out to collect. We do books distribution. Sometimes we sell certain things so that we can bring some collection for the temple, like that. Light membership, asking for donation for the deity worship, like that. Text 6. Sushilomita bhugdakshaha
Chushilomita Bhugdaksha
Shraddha dano jitendriya
Shraddha Jitendriya
Yavarartam yavahare
Yavadam Jabahare
Strishu strini jiteshu cha.
Strishu Stri Nirjiteshu Cha.
A brahmachari should be quite well behaved and gentle and should not eat or collect more than necessary. He must always be active and expert, fully believing in the instructions of the spiritual master and the Shastra. Fully controlling his senses, he should associate only as much as necessary with women or those controlled by women. Many, as Prabhupada says, he should be careful not to mix with women or with men addicted to women. Although when he goes out to beg alms, it is necessary to talk with women and with men very much attached to women. We see that almost everywhere in the world. This association should be very short. So when we are preaching, we shouldn't spend too much time talking to them. And he should talk with them only about begging alms and not more. Nowadays with a bit of scripture, but you can't convince them, even if you spend a month there with them. Sometimes it takes a long time to convince people, so we shouldn't waste time, particularly when they are attached to their woman and the women are trying to be funny. A brahmachari should be very careful in associating with men who are attached to women, because they can influence you. Text 7. Vajjaye pramadagatam
Vajjayet Pramadagata
agrihasto brihat vrataha
Agrihasto Brihadvrataha
indriyani pramatini
Indriyani Pramatini
haranti api yatir manaha.
Haranti Apiyatir Manaha.
A brahmachari, or one who has not accepted the grihastha ashrama, family life, must rigidly avoid talking with women or about women, for the senses are so powerful that they may agitate even the mind of a sannyasi, a member of the renounced order of life. So Mahaprabhu also says, you shouldn't even think of the opposite sex, you shouldn't talk about them, same thing. Even a statue made of wood of a woman is also, he says, one shouldn't look at it like that. So strict celibacy. Brahmacharis are supposed to take a vow and only marry when they are ready for it or given permission or they want to. But otherwise strict. No unnecessary talks with women. Or even reading literature concerning talks between men and women. Now everywhere it's like that. Even if you look at news and so on, that's all. Right? Mostly conducted by women. Like that. The injunction restricting association with women is the basic principle of spiritual life. Associating or talking with women is never advised in any of the Vedic literatures. The entire Vedic system teaches one to avoid sex life so that one may gradually progress from brahmacharya to grahastha, from grahastha to vanaprastha, and from vanaprastha to sannyasa. And thus give up material enjoyment, which is the original cause of bondage to this material world. The word Brihavrata refers to one who has decided not to marry. Or in other words, not to indulge in sex life throughout his entire life. Looks like all the children are here. No? Okay, so you can see the verses are here. They don't. So we are talking about brahmacharya, means celibate life. Okay. Okay. That means careful not to mix too much with the opposite sex, or man and woman should be very careful how they associate. So this is basically Srila Prabhupada's discussion in this purport. Now in text 8, continue. Kesha prasada non-marda snapana vyanjanadikam guru stribir yuvati bihi karayannatmano yuva. If the wife or the spiritual master is young, a young brahmachari should not allow her to care for his hair, massage his body with oil, or bathe him with affection like a mother. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, sometimes there is the Guru Mata. They may be elderly and they may take care of the young boys in the Gurukul like that. But if she is a young girl herself, meaning she may be just, 16, 18-year-old, sometimes the guru must have married a very young girl, or 20 like that. So the recommendation is, according to Narad Muni, she should not take care of such young boys also. Okay. So Prabhupada says, mother sometimes cares for her son by combing his hair, massaging his body with oil, or bathing him. Similarly, the wife of the teacher is also a mother, Guru Patni. And therefore, she may also care for the disciple in a motherly way. If the wife of the teacher is a young woman, however, a young brahmachari should not allow such a mother to touch him. This is strictly prohibited. And then Prabhupada says there are 7 types of mother. Without looking at the book, do you all know who are the 7 mothers? Don't look in the screen also.
The guru, the cow, the guru's wife, the nurse, the
queen,
the nurse, the real mom, nurse,
Bhumi, one at a time. You already answered.
Oh, I said it.
What did you say?
I said it. She said
You?
the mom,
your
Mom?
mother.
What else?
a nurse, a nurse,
The nurse. And then
guru's wife,
the last one is the cow. And somebody said that?
yeah.
Earth is said already, the Guru's wife. Yeah. Guru Mata. Okay. This mothers, you all should know this. Okay. Try to memorize or remember this thing. The mothers are the original mother, your own mother, the wife of the teacher or spiritual master, wife of a brahmana. That's what you are mistaken. The king's wife, the cow, the nurse, and the earth. All these are mothers. So we must respect all these 7 mothers. Yeah. In any case, unnecessary association with women, even with one's mother, sister, or daughter, is strictly prohibited. So there must be very caution. You should be very cautious how you deal with your own children also. This is human civilization. The reason is, if you mix too freely, if you are not in control of your senses, it will create havoc. A civilization that allows men to mix unrestrictedly with women is an animal civilization. So now you know, in the like in America nowadays, many of these teachers, right, they are having a relation with young boys. So many cases come out in the newspaper. So that is very unfortunate to speak. So Prabhupada says a civilization that allows men to mix unrestrictedly with women is an animal civilization. Why does he say it's animal civilization?
Because
No. Yes. Anvita?
man.
No, I'll call you if I want to. Yeah. Huh? Why does Prabhupada say if you mix unrestrictedly, it's an animal civilization?
What does unrestrictedly mean?
Anyhow, no control. Yeah.
Because then, like,
12th chapter.
like when people marry, they won't have that like that close relationship with their own husband,
Yeah.
and then they'll be like have relationships with other people,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's what animals do.
Mm.
So that's what animals do.
Yeah, animals, they don't think whose husband is this or whose child it is, right? They'll just associate. So that's what you see when you go to school and so on, right? Today he's the boyfriend, next day is another boyfriend, like that. So that's animalistic. That's why Prabhupada says. And that's not good for anyone. In Kali Yuga, people are extremely liberal. Liberal means very free in doing what they want. But mixing with women and talking with them as equals actually constitutes an uncivilized way of life. So both men and women should be very careful. Text 9.
Nanvagni pramadar nama
Nanagni Ramadanama
Greta kumbha samapuman
Ritakumda Samapuman
Sutam api raho jayat
Sutam Abhiraho Jaya
Anyata yavadartha krit.
Anyada Yavadarthakrit. Can you chant?
Huh?
Can you chant?
Yeah.
Okay. Just you're not opening your mouth so much. No, she can see.
Don't move down.
Okay. Woman is compared to fire and man is compared to a butter pot. Prabhupada uses this quite often. Therefore, a man should avoid associating even with his own daughter in a secluded place. Similarly, he should also avoid association with other women. One should associate with women only for important business and not otherwise. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, butter pot and fire are kept together. The butter within the pot will certainly melt. So the same way, if men and women are always close, then they will not follow any rules. They will do something. In this connection, I remember many years ago, there was this one devotee was preaching in this city, and he was doing very well. And he was around 29, maybe. 29 years old. But he was first initiated by Prabhupada. But he was kind of proud because he's doing and attracting people and so on. So and then the devotees all rented a place in the city for him so he can stay, and everyone will come weekly for the programs and so on. But so then one young lady, kind of separated from her husband, she came and she started to do service at the center, temple center, like that. then she was there for a while, you know. So we were watching. We were all going there. We were watching, and then one day, he and the lady had an intimate relationship, and then guess what? She was pregnant. So then the whole thing became a hoo-ha, big problem. Everyone started blaming the lady. It wasn't her fault, you know. And this brahmachari, so-called brahmachari, was the one who was very nasty to everybody. You know, he preached, but he'll be very nasty to the ladies especially. Finally, he ended up doing that. And then when he did the mistake, he blamed it on her also. Yeah. And then his family members came and told the lady to get out, you're an evil person, and so on, Maya. So anyway, she left, but after when they found out she was pregnant, they had no choice. So he married her. Yeah. Luckily, he married her. But that is the reason why men and women shouldn't associate together freely. Unless they are married, then there's a different situation. Otherwise, in scripture it is said the women are like fire and men are like butter. So he will not be able to control himself and he'll melt like that. So Prabhupada says, however advanced one may be in controlling or restraining the senses, it is almost impossible for a man to keep himself controlled in the presence of a woman. So they are very powerful. Yeah, woman wink like the man and the man will fall down. Even if she is his own daughter, mother or sister. Indeed, his mind is agitated even if one is in the renounced order of life. So therefore we have restriction. That is the only reason. Because we want to focus on what? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We want to focus not on one another. That you can do when you get married or whatever. Otherwise, no need to. When you are young, what should you be focused on?
Krishna.
And
Studies.
yes, when you are young, you should be focused on Krishna and studies. Okay. After you finish your studies, you can focus on
Getting married.
Krishna and getting married. If you want to. So therefore, our Vedic society carefully restricts mingling between men and women. If one cannot understand the basic principle of restraining association between men and women, he is to be considered an animal. Right? Now you understand why Prabhupada uses the word animal? Yeah? Okay, good. Next time you all can give the class. Text 10. Kalpayitvatmana yavat Avasam idamishvaraha Dvaitam tavanna viramet Tato hi asya viparyayaha. As long as a living entity is not completely self-realized, as long as he is not independent of the misconception of identifying with his body, which is nothing but a reflection of the original body and senses, he cannot be relieved of the conception of duality, which is epitomized by the duality between men and women. Thus, there's every chance that he will fall down because his intelligence is bewildered. Okay, what is the meaning of self-realized? Siddhu?
What? Just ask the question. The meaning of self-realized? He realized himself.
Good job.
Just switch the words around.
What word meaning?
What for meaning? You've heard of it, right? Whenever you go, yes.
Is it when you know the difference between you know that you're the soul and you know the difference?
Yeah, you're not the body. That's one level of self-realization, like that. Yes.
You're an eternal servant of Krishna?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Yeah, like that. Yeah, you understand who you are. You're not the body. That's like you realize yourself that you're a spirit soul. What is identifying with the body means? Yeah? Identify means what? What does it mean? Help her.
Figure out and find out.
Examine your body.
Not quite examining, but yes, Anvita.
It's like when you say this is my house.
Yeah, that's right.
My, like,
My. Yeah. So that is what this translation is about. Thinking ourselves to be the body, and therefore we get attracted to one another. We are attracted to the body, like that. So, but we are not supposed to be like that. We should be able to see that everyone is a spirit soul, not the body, but they are spirit soul. Spirit soul means they are all servants of Krishna. Servants of Krishna. So Prabhupada says, even if you may read the book, one may theoretically understand this, but when one has practical realization, I mean, just like you read, you're not the body. Are you guys playing games?
Yes.
Show me. Okay. You're drawing. Okay. Okay, so then you have to realize that you're not the body instead of just reading from the book like that. Then Prabhupada says then you become a pandita. That means one who is very intelligent, who understands what is the body and what is the spirit soul. Now, until you understand this concept, you will be in duality. What does duality means?
Going through the both ups and downs of life.
Going through ups and downs in life, or seeing sometimes winter time is too cold, right? And then summertime is too hot. So those are dualities. But non-duality means you understand, yes, this is going to happen, but I'm not going to be disturbed. Yeah. So that is another thing of identifying, thinking I am so and so, right? What's your name?
Shivani.
Rishabhani.
Shivani.
Shivani. And you are? Srinidhi? Sunidhi. Okay, it can be Srinidhi also. So then you're thinking, I am Sunidhi, like that. But you're not the body. Okay, like that. So those are dualities. Thinking I'm man, I'm woman, all those things. But therefore, we have to be very careful how we associate with one another, because we are not in control of our senses, and we are not calm, and we see differences in life. Text 11.
Etat sarvam grahastasya
Samam yaterapi Guru Vikalpena
grahastasya
tu Gamina. Okay, the next verse, Anvita, and then Sindhu, Danvi. Okay, long chant after that. Okay, all the rules and regulations apply equally to the householder and the sannyasi. The member of the renounced order of life, the grahastha, however, is given permission by the spiritual master to indulge in sex during the period favorable for procreation, to have children. So in the Purport Prabhupada writes, it is sometimes misunderstood that a grihastha, a householder, is permitted to indulge in sex at any time. But that's not the case. This is wrong conception of grihastha life. Hey, stop it. In spiritual life, whether one is a grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, or brahmachari, everyone is under the control of the spiritual master. That means they have someone to guide them, not whimsically do what they want. You'll find in modern society, most people have no one to guide them, right? They all make their own choices, right? They don't know exactly what to do tomorrow. They just think, oh, I have to go to work. Right? I have to get up and go to work. Or for children, they'll think I have to get up and go to school. And you're hoping for the weekend, right? So you can sleep in. No need to do any homework. Unless you're homeschooled. So there are people like that. Yeah? This is how people from India are like that. Because they are on the phone, they think the person is on so far away, so they have to shout so loudly on the phone.
Physical distance.
Yeah, physical distance. So they must shout. So in the middle of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the Grihastha is allowed to indulge in sex life during the period favorable for procreation. Procreation means to have children. Yes. And in accordance with the spiritual master's order. If the spiritual master's orders allow a Grihastha to engage in sex life at a particular time, then the Grihastha may do so. Otherwise, if the spiritual master orders against it, the Grihastha should abstain. Now, before they have a child, they should ask permission or ask for blessing. Spiritual master, we want to have a children, please give us this. Usually the Guru will say yes. Blessings and you all can have a child like that. I've never heard a spiritual master saying no. You know? Unless the husband and wife are crazy people. Then no, you better have children. You guys are crazy, the child will be worse. I've never heard like that, but yeah. It's out of etiquette. So by asking, they can bless you and the child will be good children. That is the only reason they're asking permission. Okay, and then towards the last 4 or 5 lines there, Prabhupada says, it is not that because one is a Grihastha, he may marry as many times as he likes. Right? Modern society is like that. Right? They marry and then they divorce. And then they yeah, what is the problem?
They have so many children.
Why? Why they do that? Why do you think they do that?
Find happiness.
Enjoyment.
Yes, enjoyment, find happiness. Tanvi?
Frustration, happiness.
Yeah, they're like frustrated.
They're like frustrated. What they're looking for?
True happiness.
Yeah, true happiness. That's the right word. True happiness.
Or they don't want to take care of children.
Or they like want to be sad. Like satisfied.
Yeah. Sense enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. So that's what you find really that's what's happening nowadays. So they want to have lots of money, but then they spend wildly, but they are never satisfied or happy. Even look at Bill Gates. He had so much money, then he had to give up Microsoft management. Now what's he doing? Charitable, philanthropic activities. Try to find a cure for this and that. Why? Because he's never happy. It's a fact. We all should know this. You will never be happy. Only happiness is when you take out spiritual life. It's a fact. You become very satisfied. Yeah. When you're satisfied, you don't worry about too many or too little. You're satisfied. Okay? So Prabhupada continues, this is not spiritual life. In spiritual life, one must conduct one's whole life under the guidance of the Guru. Why do you need to be guided by a Guru?
So you can be guided rightly.
Correctly. You need to be guided correctly. So how do you know what is correct and not correct? Not you. Yes?
The Vedas say it's correct.
Why do you want to believe the Vedas, Tanvi?
Because it like came directly from Krishna.
Yeah, it came from the Lord himself. And the Lord is our well-wisher. That's why. That's why it's correct. Daylight saving. Daylight saving.
He's early.
Yeah. So therefore, you need someone who can guide you. That's the only reason. Just like if you go to school, why do you need a teacher to teach you?
So you know what So the class doesn't go on.
Yeah, so you know what you're studying first of all, and they know what they are teaching, hopefully. Like that. So that's the first reason. The second reason is when you take instruction from someone in spiritual life, Krishna becomes happy. Tired?
No.
No, she is tired. What time you gonna get up?
5.
5? What time you slept? 4?
11.
Oh, 11. Why you sleep so late?
Yeah, we slept so late because me and my dad and my mom and my sister were all talking.
Yeah?
And me and my sister couldn't sleep.
Okay.
And we woke up at 7.
Okay. That's very good. So you get the mercy of Krishna. Krishna is pleased when you take instructions from someone else. You can sleep.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Who's reading this?
Okay, if one desires to advance in spiritual life, but he acts whimsically. Again, what is whimsically?
Maybe just simply doesn't really care.
Doesn't really care, no worry, just do it. Right? When they're sitting together, somebody hits the other person whimsically, no reason, just hit. No? And then the other guy hits him, no reason. And they argue, no reason. Right, Advaita?
Yeah.
Focus.
I was telling my dad
Why?
something.
You'll be seeing him 24 hours a day.
No.
Yeah.
On Fridays, I only see him for 1 hour.
Oh.
But 30 minutes, not 1 hour.
You have to learn how to control yourself sometimes. Right? So if you don't follow, then you have no shelter also. So the guru gives you a shelter. That means on your own, it's very difficult for you to do certain things, right? Like if a teacher gives you algebra equation and says solve it without teaching you, how are you going to understand? Right? You're all like, what's wrong with you, Mrs. So-and-so? How do we know, right? You'll think like that. So then if the teacher teaches you, then you can apply. So that's like shelter. Then you know they are always there to guide you. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, Yasha Prasadan Nagati Kutopi. They will guide you to Krishna, give you the shelter of Krishna. Okay, so without the spiritual master's order, we cannot do anything, even having children. Text 12. Anvita.
Anjana Vyajanonmarda Srivyaleka Vishammalu Shragandale Palankaram Gyajeyurye Brihadvrata.
Brahmacharis or grahastas who have taken the vow of celibacy as described above should not indulge in the following: applying powder or ointment to the eye. So if you see the young boys putting powder and then mascara,
That's girl.
that's
That's girl.
girls only? No, boys also do, Nowadays they don't do. In those days in India, the little boys will also put ointments. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, must be.
When we were young, our mothers would put for us also. It's supposed to be good for the eyes, cooling. So you want to put some?
Castor.
She has?
Yeah, she keeps eyeing. Yeah, you keep eyeing.
Yeah, that's good. And then massaging the head with oil, massaging the body with the hands, seeing a woman or painting a woman's picture, seeing a man or painting a man's picture, eating meat, drinking wine, decorating the body with flower garlands, smearing scented ointment on the body or decorating the body with ornaments. This they should keep up. Now here, brahmachari means they are interested in spiritual life. Okay, and grihasthas who are interested in spiritual life. So they shouldn't indulge in these things. These are mainly for people who are materialistic, who are thinking I am the body. So they like to do that, right? And before they go to school, they put powder, they put lipstick, they look left, right. Is it okay? Which profile is looking good, right? Then if you think, some people think their left side is better, so they always walk like that. And then they put on Facebook and all the left posts, right?
The people on the other side wasn't.
Yeah, they will all go like that. Yeah. No, it's just people are so confused. They think the body is so nice. If you look this side, look that side. And it's all bodily thing. And that is why it's not recommended. Now, if you are sick and your body is massaged, that's a different thing. But just for the sake of, putting perfume and massaging, those are not recommended. Unless you are going for a party, then they do this, or getting married, then they do all this kind of things. But otherwise, there's no need to. Okay? Like that. Now, decorating the body with flower garlands. If the garlands coming from Radha Nila Madhava, you can wear them. Right? Otherwise, you can't just every day wear one garland and walk. Right? You are thinking you're so great. Right? And scented oils is to attract the opposite sex. That's all. That's why people put perfume and all. If you look at the wild animals, they are musk, foxes and all those things. They spray, even the cats you see, they spray everywhere to attract the opposite sex. It's an animal life like that. Okay? So therefore, if you put too much perfume, then you have a problem. Then you're trying to attract someone.
The whole perfume industry basically comes from animalistic civilization.
It's for sex. That's all. The whole material world is for that. It's running under that. Yeah. So therefore, Narad Muni saying this, they should give up. Okay. Text 13 and 4. But it doesn't mean if you stink, what do you do? Yeah, you take bath properly and then have some deodorant. Some people, because they have their material body conditioning, there may be a very bad smell or something. So you have to take care. Doesn't mean, okay, I read Narad Muni say don't put the, and then you go, everybody's like, then you don't want that also. Then you feel hurt when they say, oh, someone's so smelly, especially school children, they can be nasty. I don't know. Yeah. Text 13 and 14. Sindhu. No, Sindhu, yeah.
Ushitvaimam Gurukule.
Ushitvaimam Gurukule.
Dvijodityava Buddhyate.
Dvijodityava Buddhyacha.
Trayim Sangopanishadam.
Trayim Sangopanishadam.
Yavad Artam Yatavalam.
Yavad Artam Yatavalam. Datvavaram Anujnato. Gurukamam Yadishvara. Griham Vanam Va Pravishet.
Pravajet Tatravavasit.
Pravajet Tatravavasit. Very good. I didn't know you're so good. According to the rules and regulations mentioned above, one who is twice born, namely a Brahmana. Twice born means, why they call them twice born?
The twins.
Twins? They're twins? No. No, Advaita, I'll ask you later. I'm trying to ask those who never ask. You know everything, Advaita. Okay. Tanvi.
Is it like when you get initiated, it's like another birth, like after the
Yes. The first birth is your material birth. Then the second birth is your spiritual birth. But particularly for Brahminical initiation, then it's called the second birth. Okay? That's the reason. According to the rules and regulations mentioned above, one who is twice born, namely a Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya. So these three People, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas are considered twice born. Should reside in the Gurukula under the care of the spiritual master. Okay, which other living entity is also twice born?
Butterfly.
Butterfly.
Oh, that's true.
No, butterfly is
But
not
the
twice.
caterpillar
It's not born twice. It's just
Yeah, because
it's
the
same.
cat is a caterpillar and then
It changes its body.
No, I agree.
Black.
I agree, but it's not twice born. It's more like thrice born. Because it's the egg first, then a caterpillar, then pupa, then butterfly. Yeah. Siddhu?
Yeah.
What other animal is twice born?
Animal.
No, a creature or whatever.
I know.
What?
A vegetable.
No.
Creature.
Eh,
Oh, they're not a creature.
What's no
They're
creature?
humans.
It's no creature. What's no creature?
Okay, you got a lifeline.
Phone a friend.
Huh? Phone a friend. Yeah, we can phone or no, you are 50-50. I'll say the silly thing.
Please call back.
Yeah. Okay,
We are not available.
listen, the twice
Is it
born.
actually an item?
Yeah. The birds are known as twice born.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now I agree.
Because see, first like the parents first so they
Kids.
No,
so first
first birth is the
they
egg,
lay the egg, so that's
Yes.
the first birth, then they hatch out.
then hatch outside. So second time
So
they,
like
So
lizards.
all the mammals also Prabhu.
not mammals,
A dragon.
No, reptiles.
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 But generally in the scripture they
Dragon.
say birds. Are
Dragons. Because dragons are from
okay, dragons also. You have a
A
dragon?
unicorn.
You have dragons?
It's like a tiger gets like initiation.
Huh? Yeah, that's the same thing. Initiation. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
So then, okay, let's continue. There he should study and learn all the Vedic literatures along with their supplements and the Upanishads, according to his ability and power to study. If possible, the student or disciple should reward the spiritual master with the remuneration the spiritual master requests. And the spiritual master can ask, okay, I need so much from you. And then, following the master's order, the disciple should leave and accept one of the other ashrams, namely the Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, or Sannyasa ashram, as he desires. In the purport, Prabhupada said, to study the Vedas and understand them, of course, requires some special intelligence. But the members of the three highest sections of society, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, must learn the Vedic literatures according to their capability and power to understand. Right? So similarly, like you go to college, right? All of you, some of you may go to college, right? So what do you want to study? What you want to do, right? Or what you are good at? Huh?
How to be a teacher.
Okay, that's what you want to. So same thing. The in the Gurukul also the spiritual master says, okay, your nature is like a king. So you study the king's dharma. Your nature is like a carpenter. So you study the carpenter dharma or Shudra dharma, like that. Not because I was born in this family, so I'm President Trump's son, so I must be the next president. No, doesn't work like that. So one has to become qualified.
Bill Clinton.
So if you are Bill Clinton's daughter, are you automatically the next?
Or Bill. No, isn't Hillary Clinton that?
It's the wife.
Or Bill Clinton's wife.
Hillary.
Halfway.
Halfway.
Anyway, I think you all know more about what's happening out there. Okay. So anyway, studying scripture is important for everyone but the Shudras and Antyajas. That means very low born people who cannot understand, don't have that intelligence. Just like not everybody likes mathematics, right? What did I say? Not everyone likes mathematics. You all should be here. Not everyone likes mathematics. Some don't like it. It doesn't mean they are not intelligent. It's just that they don't like it. Okay. So in the same way, the Shudras are not able to understand scriptures properly. So therefore, they are not allowed to waste their time. Okay. What do you need?
Charger.
Charger? Whose charger is that?
Computers.
Oh.
Why do you need a charge?
Okay.
I saw it there.
Oh,
Let's see. Just pull this one.
oh, that.
No. Why? Only the end. No. No, not that.
Prabhu not listening. He's like Avadut. Second paragraph.
One second.
Okay, use it here. Use it here. And we'll connect that wire. Yep. Good job.
Okay, so in the second paragraph, another point to be observed from this verse is that from the brahmacharya ashram, one may accept the sannyas ashram, vanaprastha ashram, or grihastha ashram. So once you go to school, after you graduate, you can get married, or you don't need to get married, or you just travel the world with what you have, some money. So it's like that.
It's mentioned they can go to Vanaprasthas.
Yeah.
So they become another teacher. Vanaprastha.
Yeah, they spend some time vanaprastha before they become sannyas. Like, they don't want to get married. They just want to practice renunciation. Like that. Now, it is not compulsory for a brahmachari to become a grihastha. That means they don't have to get married. Because the ultimate aim is to understand the absolute truth. All education is for what purpose, Sindhu? No, education is for
Study. Oh,
what is the reason to
to
study?
use your studies in Krishna consciousness.
To know Krishna. Close,
To survive.
close but no cigars. Because the ultimate aim is to understand the absolute truth, as Prabhupada says. Therefore, you don't have to go through so many different ashrams. Thus, one may proceed to the sannyas ashram directly from the brahmachari ashram, and then Srila Prabhupada says, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted the sannyas ashram directly from the brahmachari ashram. Okay. So he didn't want to go to grihastha or vanaprastha. He thought it was for him, it was not a good use of valuable time. Text 15, Tanvi.
No.
Not you.
Tanvi? Are you Tanvi?
No, she.
Or she's Tanvi?
Yeah.
Agna Gurav Atmani Cha
Atmani Cha
Sarva Bhuteshva Dokshajam
Sarva Bhuteshva Dokshajam
Bhute Sadamabi Pasyet
Bhute Swadamabi Pashyet
Apravishtam Pravishtavat
Apravishtam Pravishtavat. Very good. After that, you too. Chant together.
I don't know how to read this.
That's why I say you too.
English.
One should realize that in the fire, in the spiritual master, in oneself and in all living entities, in all circumstances and conditions, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, has simultaneously entered and not entered. He is situated externally and internally as the full controller of everything. This particular verse is talking about Lord Vishnu's omnipresence. That means he's everywhere at the same time, right? Now, can you be everywhere at the same time?
No.
No? But Siddhu is, right? He's causing problem here, there, and
You
everywhere.
can if you have pictures at home.
Who? Yeah, okay, that's a different type of.
You could have like a clone. So you could have
Yeah.
a clone. Have a twin and then you hold the baby.
Yeah. So can you have a twin now?
No.
No.
I can be tall as her and make No, or you could make a robot who looks like you, and you can program them. And while you're
Okay.
I can chant for you.
Amrita, you have to put up your hand to talk.
Make the robot chant.
Yeah. Okay, so Prabhupada continues. Realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's omnipresence is the perfect realization of the absolute truth to be attained through the study of the Vedic literature. That means when you study properly, you'll understand that God is everywhere at the same time. Okay, not at different times. So therefore, from the Brahma Samhita, Prabhupada explains, Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam. He is in the atom also. Atom, how small is the atom?
we can't see it.
You have to put up your hand to talk.
Keep this one
Hmm?
down so that we can
Yeah.
hand up.
You have to look through atomic microscope. That means so tiny. But they have this electron microscope which is big, but it can look at a tiny, tiny thing.
Like a germ?
Like a germ.
Yes.
No, that's a normal microscope.
No, you can use to look at viruses and all. They can use that. Yeah.
I want to see a virus.
Okay. So he can be very tiny and he's still there, and he can be very big also. So God can do both. You and I can't do that. That's the difference between God's potency or power. Then we have no power like that. Okay. So then whenever the Lord is around, he's with his devotees, he's with his servants, he has his form, his name is there, all his paraphernalia is also available. What are some of his paraphernalia?
Club.
Give it a check.
Chakra.
Chakra. One more.
Lotus.
Lotus. Yes. I know you know, but I'll call you when I want you to answer. Okay. And so we are all part and parcel. What does part and parcel mean, Sidhu?
Part and parcel.
What does it mean? So far you haven't answered properly.
We're part of. We're a part and parcel of the
Same thing you're just saying.
We're a part of the Supreme Personality.
No, you build robots, right?
Yeah.
So what is a part of the robot?
The eyes.
Yeah, exactly. So what does part and parcel
The
mean?
batteries. Like piece. Part. Some. Those parcels.
A part and parcel is like we're simultaneously wanting different parts of that.
Close, but not that. Part and parcel means everything must belong together. Right? That's part of the parcel. So belonging together. If let's say one of the screw is missing, then you will say that whole thing cannot. It may work properly, but it may not work fully 100%. Right? What do you want to say?
Same thing.
Same thing. So then Madhvacharya says, Apravista Sarvagata, Pravistastu Anurupavan, Evan Dvirupa Bhagavan, Harir Eko Janardanaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his original form, has not entered everything, Apravistaha. But in his impersonal form, he has entered, Pravistaha. So, as the Lord in his planet, he's still there. But he expands as Paramatma into every atom, into every living body, into this chair, everywhere he's there now. You can't see him, but he's there. So that's what impersonal means. You can't see him, but he has his own form in his planet. So he can show you if he wants to. So and this is all at the same time. Amazing, no? That is amazing power he has. So therefore, again, we understand from Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyakte murtina matstani sarvabhutani na chaham teshu avastitaha. By me, in my unmanifested form. That means impersonal form, or like the light ray. You can't see how the rays or light is moving, but that's how it is. Unmanifested form.
How do you see?
Huh?
How do you see that?
You don't.
No, like what's like?
Sit on the tree.
No, like what's like a tool?
Tool?
Spectral.
How do you see light moving?
Oh, they have to use those.
Yeah, the things.
Thing.
I don't
It's
know.
called thing. Spectrometer.
I think it's like, it's like some spectroscope.
Okay, yeah. So you can use
Electromagnetic.
one of those to see. Oh, light bounces off the mirror.
Huh?
Or then you can see that's how light moves. Like,
Isn't light the fastest thing that can happen?
so far, according to material science, yes. But faster than light is the mind. Yeah. You think of going to school, you're there. It's faster than light.
Okay, I think going to the shop.
Yeah, you're there.
No?
Your mind.
Your mind is there.
Line there.
Yeah.
Why is he saying all beings are in me, but I'm not in them? Krishna is always there, super soul in everybody's heart.
No, that's what I'm saying. In his unmanifested form, that means in super soul he's there. But personally he's not there. That's what he means by that. But I'm not in there.
So actually, he's a form, but we can't see. That's why it's unmanifest.
Yes. That's right.
What if you don't want to?
What if you don't
What
want
if you
to?
think about I don't want to go to school, but you
But you're still thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm still thinking.
It's like, for example, like you see a paper here and you will go pick it up. Like the impulse to pick it up is like really fast. It's like faster than light too. Like, you know, like,
Why
No, we're just saying what is fast and what is not fast. So don't complicate it too much. Text 16. You can chant from the. Oh.
Evam vido brahmachari.
Evam vido brahmachari.
Vanaprasto yate gati.
Vanaprasto yate grihi.
Charan vidikta vijnana.
Charan vidikta vijnana.
Param brahmadhi. Param brahmadhi gacchati.
Param brahmadhi gacchati. That's very good. You chanted nicely. By practicing in this way, whether one be in the brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, or sannyasa ashram, one must always realize the all-pervading presence of the Supreme Lord, for in this way it is possible to understand the Absolute. So understanding Absolute is also called Brahma Jigyasa. Text 17, Advaita.
Vanaprastasya vakshami.
Vanaprastasya vakshami.
Niyaman muni sammatan.
Niyama muni sammatam.
Yan astarya muni gachet.
Yanastaya muni gachet.
Vishilokam uhanjasa.
Vishilokam muhanjasa. O king, I shall now describe the qualifications for a vanaprastha, one who has retired from family life. By rigidly following the rules and regulations for the vanaprastha, one can easily be elevated to the upper planetary system known as Maharloka. Okay. Text 18. Sidhu.
Na krishna pacham ashneyad.
Na krishna pacham ashniyad.
Akrishtam kapya kalata.
Akristam chapi akalata.
Agni bhagwan ataman va.
Agni pakvam vatamam va.
Arka pakvam uttaharet.
Arka pakvam utahare. A person in vanaprastha life should not eat grains grown by tilling of the fields. He should also not eat grains that have grown without tilling of the field, but not fully ripe. Nor should a vanaprastha eat grains cooked in fire. Indeed, he should eat only fruit ripened by the sunshine. So, the life of a vanaprastha is very difficult. That means he's supposed to be very austere. No more cooked meal like at home, your wife cooks and the nice ghee and all. It must be very simple. So you practice detachment. That's what it is. Basically, you are becoming detached from the lifestyle of sense enjoyment. You know? Text 19.
But why they said that he should eat only fruits ripened by the sunshine?
Nature.
But when it is from the tree also, the tree.
Yeah, from the tree, ripe only.
Oh,
Yeah, not.
after cracking.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll say, "I'll keep it for a few days, it'll ripe." So it's not supposed to. You are supposed to depend on the Lord.
Okay, direct. Okay.
Yeah. Text 19.
Charu Purodashar
Vanyescharu Purodasham
Dirva Pit Kalakoditar
Nirvate Kalachoditan
Labdena Veda Veda Dadi
Labdena Vena Venadi
Purudav Cha Parityajit
Puranam Cha Parityajit. A vanaprastha should prepare cakes to be offered in sacrifice from fruits and grains grown naturally in the forest. When he obtains some new grains, he should give up his old stock of grains. So it's real austere. And vanaprastha means forest. So he lives in the forest. Nowadays, there's no more forest. Right? Everywhere is only concrete jungle. So you have to practice vanaprastha a different way. So nowadays, vanaprastha means you downsize. What? Your mom is outside? Okay, so then if he gets some new grains, the old grains, he has to give it up. Cannot accumulate, not supposed to accumulate. So it's very, thank you. So one who takes up vanaprastha is learning the life of what austerity means. Because as a grihastha, he had everything. So now as vanaprastha, he's supposed to give up everything. Then as sannyas, you only depend on the Supreme Lord. That's the difference. Text 20.
So what is the right age for
What is the right age for?
vanaprastha?
You can
50.
As soon as you marry your daughter. But don't keep her until you are 80 years old. Yeah. In your case, yeah.
Prabhu, what is the, see, you told me one difference. Sannyasi and vanaprastha, both are same, right? And
Similar but different. Vanaprastha means he's from Grihastha ashram before he becomes sannyas.
Correct.
He has to learn austerity
Okay.
because he's not used to it.
Yeah.
So once he is used to those austerity, then he can become sannyas.
Oh, first you need to get used to.
Yeah.
So I think, is this not the difference that in vanaprastha your wife can accompany you? I think
Yeah.
you only can.
Yeah,
right?
she
And
can.
the sannyasi-
Yeah. Sannyas no more. Everything cut off. Because even the lady will want to learn how to do austere. So they can go together and preach in vanaprastha. But the lifestyle is everything's downsized. No more big house, small house, just a simple bed, no more water bed or what kind of bed they have, spring and all those. Now very simple bed. I mean, I'm not saying you cannot have those because, nowadays we are not as healthy as some people have back problems and so on. So they may have to have certain kind of sleeping materials. So that's okay. The point is you downsize. You don't have all the luxuries anymore. You give away. Give away your 60-inch, 55-inch TV. You don't need that anymore. Now you just want to preach. Unless you use it for preaching like this. Yeah. Some people, they have like 85-inch. So I was sitting there taking prasad. Then I was in the evening. Then I saw one house. It's so big. People were walking like in the... Then I was telling him, he said, no, Prabhu, this big TV there, 85 inches.
85 inches have come.
Yeah, so...
No, this might be a TV or it might be a projector. Yes.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, the 110, 120 projector.
Yeah, so it was, you can see the actual huge people were walking on that. And I was like, wow. So it's like that, all those are enjoyments in the grihastha ashram which you have to give up. Like that. Right. So yeah, that means when you are retired from everything materially, then you spend some years trying to study and do seva at the temple for ISKCON devotees. Don't no more, or if you want, go parikram once a year and then come back and then do small service at the temple, go out and preach. Husband and wife can do all that. That should be the main goal. That's vanaprastha. Then if the husband wants to take sannyas, then you go on your own then. Because the end of the day, when you die, you are alone, you know. Nobody will be with you. When you go, nobody will be with you. You have to leave back everything that you gained in this life. So you cannot take to next life. Okay. Text 20.
Ajñātameva sāranam
Ajñātameva sāranam
uttajam vadrikandaram
Uttajam vadrikandaram Shayatayamavavyagni
Varsarka tapasatsvayam
Varshaka tapasatsvayam. A vanaprastha should prepare a thatched cottage or take shelter of a cave in a mountain only to keep the sacred fire. But he should personally practice enduring snowfall, wind, fire, rain, and the shining of the sun. That means summertime. Now, these are extreme things. Mostly nowadays in Kali Yuga, many of you can't do this. You can't even build a cottage for yourself, so don't think about it so much. But you can build simple housing. That's the whole idea. Live simply, not to overindulge. You know, many times you see people, they work like in the capacities of financial managers and so on. They got lots of money over the years, and then when they retire, they want to enjoy those money. The point here is it's no point enjoying them, because then you cannot give them up. And even at the time of death, you are thinking how to enjoy. But the whole goal of spiritual life is to not be attached to material nature, to increase one's relation with Krishna, to increase one's remembrance of Krishna, and to increase one's service to Krishna. So those things should be more cultivated once you retire. So you should plan about what are the services you want to do like that. Not thinking, I'll go for some cruise, South American cruise, Hawaiian cruise. Hawaii no more. So Alaska, like that. People want to do all these things, yeah.
So our philosophy is very high, but in the reality, last night one of my students came. I went to the temple for my service, and he said, "Prabhu, I have to talk to you about something." I said, "What?" "Prabhu, this devotee has 3 homes. This devotee has 4 homes. Do you think I should also buy a second home?" So he's asking for advice from the perspective of Bhagavad Gita. So I told him whatever little I knew. And I said, "You don't have to run after." But he said, "Prabhu, these are all very good devotees, and they have 3, 4 homes now." So our Yajna Acharati Shrestha, so the initiated devotees, are giving an example of accumulation.
Maybe, but the point is, when you study this, you should understand who is a real devotee also. Okay? Not just because everyone who's initiated buying 3, 4 houses doesn't make it to be what the scriptures say. A real devotee is one who's becoming more a lover of Krishna. Okay? So that is a person he should look up to. Evidently, it seems the person you talk to is actually interested in material pursuits. So therefore, he looks up to people who have 3 houses, 4 houses, and therefore he justifies his claim. But through scriptures, we know that is not a justification. So you should have answered, if you want to buy, and if you're not interested in Krishna, go ahead.
Yeah, especially in this
That's
geography.
That's the right answer.
Right. Especially in this geography, devotees
doesn't
are very
matter.
opulent. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. One should speak the truth.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't worry about what others buying. What do you want? You want to go back to Krishna, or you want to stay in this hellish hole? What is your goal? then they will come to the senses and asking the wrong person. So they'll look for someone who will answer what they want. And they won't bother you. That's one way of talking to them. The other way is they will understand, yeah, actually I'm not thinking spiritually. That is an intelligent person. Okay? So don't be afraid. When people ask you, tell the truth. Say, look, what do you want? Spiritual goals or material goals first? If you want material goals, then I'm not the right person. But if you want to say, go ahead. Say what you want. But if spiritual goals, then okay, I'll tell you what spiritual goals are. You're supposed to not accumulate stuff. In any case, 4 houses, what he's going to do? Live in the 4 homes at the same time? Krishna could do it. So Krishna expended 16,108 and he had 16,108 castles at the same time. So therefore, he had needed those palaces, 16,000. You are 1 person, 2 person, how can you be? So maybe husband live in one house, wife in another house.
But when people work for big corporations, money is coming. So
I understand. Sometimes people say, so they want to do something with it. So give to Krishna. There's so many projects around the world that you can help. Right? Propagate Krishna consciousness, print Prabhupada's books. Right? Do nice food for life. Open a get together, 10 of you, and open a downtown restaurant. Right? Distribute prasad that way. There's so many ways to serve Krishna. But no, I want an extra house. For what? How many houses you all want? Okay, invest for money. Fine.
I said I want it for my kids, but I said kids don't stay with you anymore, right?
No.
Like my father's house is still in Hyderabad and I'm here. Like kids don't stay.
Yeah, an intelligent person will know what is the value of so much property, so much money. What you're going to do? Death is sure, and anytime you can die. Then what? Right? Who will be the guys laughing? You work like a dog, and then you invest, and then you pay mortgage and everything like a dog. Cry half the time. Work like a dog. Come home. Get some small mittens, or the wife will say, I'm too tired, this is all I cooked today, you eat or something. Then that's all you have. And then you go next day, work like a dog, come back, and you bark, oh, anyone to pet me? Nobody, okay, go and sleep. Then you have so many properties. You think you're happy? It's all false. It is false. We have to wake up. This is reality. We try to hide our sadness by purchasing all these things. It is. Because by buying, you think, oh, I'm doing something, everyone should look up to me. I'm the center of attraction now, because we cannot focus Krishna. We want to focus on our own things. Yeah. No, so you shouldn't encourage people like that. You should be truthful. Say, no, this is not good for spiritual life, but materially, if you want, that's up to you. But remember, you are going to accumulate only more and more. The reaction will come.
Bro, sometimes they also say like, I am doing this because now I can generate income, I can give up my job, I can dedicate full time to Krishna.
Okay, so when you're going to quit job?
Because at least I'm me asking. Or
not you. You are saying this guy say like that. So I'll ask them when you quitting.
That's you need to
But they will give you unrealistic amount.
Exactly.
10 million,
yes,
20 million.
Yes. So that's the future. One of the things you all should know: trust no future. So therefore, whatever you calculate and say, I need 2.316 million for the rest of my life is meaningless. The very figure I quoted is meaningless also. People calculate like that, but it doesn't work because the next government will come, will change the whole rules. Then what happened? You're going to go back to your drawing boards? Yeah, so all these things you don't worry about. What is sure is Krishna. Absolutely sure. Prabhupada also was sure. So we stick to that principle. Do your best, whatever you have, leave it the rest to Krishna. Right? And he will take care. Kuntaya pratijana name bhakta. Right? We have to have faith.
Sometimes we
have
have
to have faith.
I agree. Yeah. If I may. Sometimes like one brahmachari got married and later on he's saying, I gave my life for the temple. Now I'm married. I don't have any skills to live like that. So sometimes people have that bitterness also.
You can't blame the society or can't blame Krishna for that. The very fact you're blaming Krishna means you never had faith in Krishna. Right? How can you blame Krishna? That means you don't even understand the philosophy. It's unrealistic to say, oh, Krishna did this to me. Now, come on. What's the philosophy? Yeah, exactly. How you know? You say you give up everything, but maybe you didn't. We all like to say things like that. Oh, I did everything. It's embarrassing. You say you give up so much. Have you given as much as Srila Prabhupada? Should ask them. Right? They probably gave a few years of their life. Okay, maybe. Some of them, yeah. But don't blame the society for that. Everybody thinks, okay, I gave a few years, then for the rest of life, I don't have to do anything. I should be living off the temple and stuff like that. It's also wrong. That attitude is also wrong. Srila Prabhupada, until the last moment of his breath, he was translating. He was serving Krishna. Right? If you read about it. So how can you say, I gave up my life for Krishna? It's embarrassing to say that when you know how much others have done than you, right? Yeah. So therefore, we shouldn't say such thing. We should always say we could do more.
And even if we gave up, it is for our good.
Yes, that's also true.
Krishna did ask us to.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we should think like that, and people who talk like that, we should tell them exactly what it is. Speak the truth, and they will shut up. We should say it nicely, though. Priya hitam chaya. Say it in such a way it sounds nice or proper. Text 21. Suttu.
Kesharo manakasmashu.
Kesharo manakasmashu.
Malani jatilodada.
Malani jatilodada.
Kamanda vajjine danda.
Kamandalu vajjine danda.
Valkalagni parichadan.
Valkalagni parichadan. The Vanaprastha should wear matted locks of hair on his head and let his body hair, nails, and mustache grow. He should not cleanse his body of dirt. He should keep a water pot, deerskin, and rod, wear the bark of a tree as a covering, and use garments colored like fire. Now, we don't do these things. These are for previous age. Nowadays, we don't. You wear properly. You wear what is easy for you to preach and so on. Kurta, tilak, shaved head nicely. Then you can go. Yeah, like Siddhu.
But if you go to the Himalayan parts, there are people who have.
Yeah, they are doing. But then what is the value? In the modern Kali Yuga, it's better to preach. When you preach, then you can at least think about Krishna. When you're sitting alone, you're thinking about, oh, I miss my wife, I miss my husband, I miss all the nice home we had, my children, my grandchildren. This is all you will think. Oh, I wonder what happened to what is that? Some soap opera, some movie I was watching for so many years.
But you said it's better to preach.
Yeah.
But preaching means like going to a brand new town and stuff.
Whatever, you can go brand new or locally, you can go and there's so many opportunities, right? You can do that also. But give up this nonsense. I shouldn't say nonsense. Give up the old lifestyle. Yeah. Give it up.
But everybody cannot preach.
Huh?
Everybody cannot preach,
So then you come and do service at the temple. There's so much to do. Cleaning, cooking.
Taxes.
Yeah.
He makes our taxes.
Yeah. You can do so many things. Yeah, do what you can, and then just sit there all day and help people and chant, read Prabhupada's books. Try to sit and give some class. Everyone should go and have some preaching session, or have home programs. Friends go there. You speak what you can understand. You don't have to be a big superstar to then only you can speak the philosophy. No. What we are speaking is from the heart. It's not that you memorize 10 shloka and quote. That's not it's what you have realized. This life is actually I saw was a waste of time, or it was meaningful because I became a devotee, like that. So you speak your heart. Text 22.
Chare dvane dvadashabdan.
Chare dvane dvadashabdan.
Astava chatur
Chaturo Muni.
Dvavekam vayata buddhir.
Dvaekam vayata buddhir. Navipadyeta krichata. Being very thoughtful, a vanaprastha should remain in the forest for 12 years, 8 years, 4 years, 2 years, or at least 1 year, so that he'll come to austerity. He should behave in such a way that he will not be disturbed or troubled by too much austerity. So some people may need 12 years to become peaceful. Some may need 8 years. Some may need 4 years. Some may only need 1 year. So the best is if you preach, automatically you will do austerity. Okay. Text 23.
Yada kalpasva kriyayam.
Yada kalpasva kriyayam.
Vyadibirjarayatava.
Vyadibirjarayatava.
Anvikshikam vadvidyayam.
Anvikshikyam avidyayam.
Kuryat anasanadikam.
Kuryat anasanadikam. You can read from here.
Yeah.
Okay. When, because of disease or old age, one is unable to perform his prescribed duties for advancement in spiritual consciousness or study of the Vedas, he should practice fasting, not taking any food. Means now he is too old, the Vanaprastha. Okay? That means he's about to leave the body. So the old system is to just fast and die. Prabhupada, so many devotees did that. Text 24.
Aspadyagdir Sabaropya
Atmani Agnin Samaropya
Sanyasyaha Babat Batam
Sannyasaham Mamatmatam
Karadesho Nyaset Samyak
Karaneshu Nyaset Samyak
Sangatam Tu Yatarhata.
Sangatam tu yatarhata. He should properly place the fire element in his own self and in this way give up bodily affinity, by which one thinks the body to be one's self or one's own. One should gradually merge the material body into the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and sky. So this is the way they used to do. Like Sankhya. So this is when once they are meditating, they see themselves to be part, the body is part of these 5 elements. So they try to separate, and I am like neti. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm in the end a spirit soul.
He's also there in the 3rd canto.
Yes.
That merges into water merges
yes,
into
same thing. Yeah. So now they are trying to differentiate. I'm not this body, I'm not the fire, I'm not the earth. Text 25.
Kekani vayonishvam
Kekani vayonishvasam
Tejasusmanamatmavan
Tejasusmanamatmavan
Apsvar Samapyuyani
Apsvar Shrishma Puyani
Shitos Samyato Bhavam.
The sober, self-realized person who has full knowledge should merge the various parts of the body in their original sources. The holes in the body are caused by the sky. The process of breathing is caused by the air. The heat of the body is caused by fire, and semen, blood, and mucus are caused by water. The hard substances like skin, muscle, and bone are caused by earth. In this way, all the constituents of the body are caused by various elements, and they should be merged again into those elements. That means I'm not the body, basically. Thinking like that. I'm not this hands, I'm not this bones, I'm not the muscle, they are part of the earth. This is part of this. So it's another way of giving up the body. Text 26 to 28.
Vajam agnav savaktavyam.
Vajam agnav savaktavyam.
Indres Shilpam Karavapi
Indre Shilpam Karavapi
Padani Gatya Vayasi
Padani Gatya Vayasi
Pratyopastam Prajapata
Ratyopastam Prajapatau
Mrityopayam Visargam Cha
Mrityopayam Visargam Cha
Yatastanam Vinirdisit
Yatasanam Vinirdikshet
Dikshu Stotram Sanadena
Dikshu Stotram Sanadena
Sparshena Dyatmani Tvacham
Sparshena Yatmani Tvacham
Rupani Chakshusarajan
Rupani Chakshusarajan
Jyotishyabhi Niveshayat
Jyotishabhi Niveshayat
Apshrupachetasa Jivam
Apsupachetasa Jivam
Greyer Granam Kritaunyashet
Grihe Granam Shitaunyase. Thereafter, the object of speech, along with the sense of speech, the tongue, should be bestowed upon fire. Craftsmanship and the two hands should be given to the demigod Indra. The power of movement and the legs should be given to Lord Vishnu. Sensual pleasure, along with the genitals, should be bestowed upon Prajapati. The rectum, with the power of evacuation, should be bestowed in its proper place onto Mrityu. The oral instrument, along with sound vibration, should be given to the deities presiding over the directions. The instrument of touch, along with the sense objects of touch, should be given to Vayu. Form, with the power of sight, should be bestowed upon the sun. The tongue, along with demigod Varuna, should be bestowed upon water. And the power of smell, along with the two Aswini Kumara demigods, should be bestowed upon the earth. Text 29 to 30. Advaita.
Mano Manoratai Chandre
Mano Manoratai Chandre
Buddhim Bodhe Kavau Pare
Buddhim Bodhe Kavau Pare
Karmana Jatmana Rudre
Karmanya Jatmana Rudre
Yadaham Mamata Priya
Yataham Mamata Kriya
Satvena Chitam Kshetragne
Satvena Chitam Kshetragne
Guner Vaikarikam Pare
Gunai Vaikarikam Pare
Apsu Shitim Apo Jyotish
Apsu Shitim Apo Jyotishi
Adovayo Navasyamam
Adovayo Navasyamam
Kutaste Takcha Mahati
Kutaste Takcha Mahati
Tat Avyakte Kare Chatat
Tadavyakte Share Chatar. The mind, along with all material desires, should be merged in the moon demigod. All the subject matters of intelligence, along with intelligence itself, should be placed in Lord Brahma. False ego, which is under the influence of the material modes of nature and which induces one to think I am this body and everything connected with this body is mine, should be merged along with material activities in Rudra, the predominating deity of false ego. Material consciousness, along with the goal of thought, should be merged in the individual living being, and the demigods acting under the modes of material nature should be merged along with the perverted living being into the supreme being. The earth should be merged in water, water in the brightness of the sun, this brightness into the air into the sky into the false ego into the total material energy, the total material energy into the unmanifested ingredients, the pradhana feature of the material energy, and at last the ingredient feature of material manifestation onto the super soul. Not easy, no? Text 31. Now,
Anvita.
Just one question.
yeah.
Mind with material desire should be merged into moon demigod. So mind is associated with the moon demigod, but desires are is it just at the mind platform? Desires can be even deeper.
Yeah, it's at the mind platform. Yeah.
Primarily at mind platform.
Nityaksharatayatmanam Chinmatram avasheshitam Janatva Dvayudha Viramed Dagdayoni Ivanala.
When all the material designations have thus merged into their respective material elements, the living beings, who are all ultimately completely spiritual, being one in quality with the Supreme Being, should cease from material existence as flames cease when the wood in which they are burning is consumed. When the material body is returned to its various material elements, only the spiritual being remains. The spiritual being is Brahman and is equal in quality with Para Brahman. So finally, the soul and the finally he understands he is the spirit soul. Thus end the Bhakti Purport. 12:05 is start.
Sorry.